Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into something I think you'll find pretty fascinating.
Yeah, should be interesting.
It's about this wave of innovation that's coming out of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, we're talking about African researchers who are earning these really prestigious Google PhD fellowships and the work they're doing.
Yeah, and it's not just like tech for tech's sake, right? It's about using technology to tackle real-world problems.
Exactly. And the problems they're tackling, I think, have implications for, the whole world.
For sure.
The article that really sparked this deep dive for us is from University World News.
Okay.
And it was just like eye-opening to see how many African researchers are getting these fellowships.
Yeah, in 2024 alone, 9 individuals from African universities received this fellowship,
9.
which is pretty impressive.
It is. And, I know it's a competitive fellowship, but to put that in perspective,
Oh, yeah.
in the past 15 years, the Google PhD Fellowship Program has supported over 800 PhD students across 53 countries. So they're really looking for talent all over the globe.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know a fellowship is basically like a souped-up scholarship.
Yeah.
But can you break down for us what makes this fellowship such a big deal?
Well, I mean, first of all, just getting it is a huge honor.
Right.
It means that you're recognized as one of the top PhD students in your field.
Globally.
Globally, yeah, exactly.
Right.
And it goes beyond just financial support, which is obviously important.
Right.
But it provides access to mentorship from leading experts at Google,
Oh, wow.
access to Google's resources and technology.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's basically like strapping a rocket booster to their research careers.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And I was reading a quote from Leslie, Google's Director for Scientific Advancement, and she said that scientific advancement and positive social impact are deeply connected.
Right.
And I thought that really captured, like, the spirit of this whole thing.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, if you're trying to solve a problem that affects millions of people, having the support of a company like Google can make a huge difference in terms of resources and reach.
Totally. But there's another layer to this that I think is really interesting.
Okay.
It's not just about the individual researchers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This points to a bigger need in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And Professor Ernest Eridi, who is a prominent figure in African academia,
Yeah.
he's been very vocal about the fact that Africa needs a lot more PhD graduates to really drive innovation and address things like, Agenda 2063 and the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
I see. So it's kind of like this fellowship is shining a spotlight on a gap that needs to be filled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And not just for Africa's benefit, but for the whole world.
Right. A thriving research ecosystem in Africa means more perspectives, more approaches to problem solving, which ultimately benefits everyone, right?
Totally. Okay, so we've got this like big picture stuff about the fellowship and what it means for Africa. But what really got me excited about this whole topic were the stories of the fellows themselves.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, their work is it's mind-blowing.
Okay, well, let's hear about them.
Okay, so keep in mind, we're just scratching the surface here. The article highlights 3 examples.
Okay.
But first up, we've got Prosper Magara, a PhD student at the University of Cape Town.
Okay.
And he's working on this issue of access to quality surgical care in underserved regions.
Right. A huge problem.
Yeah, a massive problem, especially in certain parts of Africa.
Sadly, it's a problem all over the world,
Yeah, very true.
So how is he addressing this?
So he's developing this, like, incredible telementoring system for laparoscopic surgery.
Telementoring, huh?
Yeah. So picture this. Expert surgeons can remotely guide less experienced doctors through these really complex procedures
Wow.
in real time.
So they're like doing the surgery remotely.
Not quite, but it's like they're right there guiding them through it.
That's incredible.
And I think was really fascinating about this is it has the potential to completely change how surgeons are trained, especially in areas where they might not have access to like specialized expertise.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's not just about fixing the immediate problem.
Yeah.
It's about building like capacity for the future.
Exactly.
And get this, Prosper's system actually uses AI for real-time decision support during surgery.
Whoa, holy.
So you've got the expert surgeon like remotely guiding the procedure.
Oh.
And then you've got AI analyzing what's happening, flagging potential risks.
So it's like having a second set of eyes, but like super powered eyes.
Exactly. And it helps prevent complications, which is just like incredible.
Yeah, so we're talking about not just improving access to surgery, but actually raising the standard of care across the board.
Exactly. Okay, so story number 2.
Okay, let's hear it.
Joseph Tibakanya, a PhD candidate at Maker University in Uganda.
All right.
He's working with large language models. Yeah, those AI systems
Yeah.
that can understand and generate like human-like text.
Right. Everyone's talking about those these days.
Yeah, for good reason.
So what's he using them for?
He's using LLMs to create educational content specifically tailored for refugee education.
Wow.
So reaching kids who have often been displaced, missed out on traditional schooling
Yeah.
and giving them access to like really good learning materials.
That's amazing.
I mean, refugee populations come from all these different linguistic and cultural backgrounds.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's finding a way to make sure that the content is actually relevant and engaging for them, which I think is like just incredibly complex challenge.
Absolutely. I'd love to know more about how he's like actually adapting these LLMs for such a specific and diverse audience.
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know what, speaking of challenges,
Yeah.
before we move on to our last fellow.
Okay. I was really struck by something Joseph said about wanting to make a difference back home. He said he wants to return to Africa after his postdoc and use what he's learned to influence policy.
That's incredible.
I mean, that kind of dedication is really inspiring, right?
Absolutely. It's like he's not just in it for the research. He's really committed to making a difference.
Exactly. It's about using his knowledge to improve the lives of others.
Okay, so our last fellow, but definitely not least, is Solimane Boss.
Right?
He's from the University of Abel-Makalavi in Benin.
Okay.
And his research is, it's really interesting, especially because it ties into this huge issue facing Africa, which is agriculture.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So he's using AI, but in a very different way than Joseph. Solimane is using AI and satellite imagery to detect cotton crop pests early on.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating.
Right. And cotton is such a vital crop for so many African economies.
It is. So being able to detect pests early on could be a game changer for those farmers.
Exactly. It could lead to more effective pest management, higher yields.
Yeah, I'm seeing the potential here.
And then you've got the ripple effect, right?
Right.
Healthier crops mean more income for farmers, which contributes to economic growth.
Not to mention it could help with food security.
Oh, absolutely. It's like this whole domino effect of positive impact.
It's amazing how technology can be applied to address very specific, localized challenges, but then have these global ramifications.
Totally. And Solimane is clearly like really passionate about this work. He talked about wanting to dedicate his whole career to using AI for agriculture and environmental protection in Africa.
It's so great to see how this fellowship has, really sparked something in him.
Totally. I mean, it's a perfect illustration of how, supporting research doesn't just advance knowledge, but it also inspires and empowers individuals to make a real difference in the world.
For sure.
Okay, so we've got these three incredible stories, and I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
Right. It feels like there's so much more to uncover here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But even with just these three examples, I'm already seeing some common threads.
Yeah, me too. It's like this incredible synergy, right?
Yeah.
Where the needs and challenges of the African continent are actually driving this wave of innovation.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's like necessity is the mother of invention, as they say.
It's true. But I think it's time to zoom out a little
Yeah.
and look beyond the individual researchers.
Mm-hmm.
What does this surge in African research talent mean for the continent and for the world more broadly?
Well, I think it ties back to what we were talking about earlier with Professor Ariety.
Right. About how Africa needs more PhDs.
Exactly. Like these Google fellowships are a step in the right direction,
Right.
They're highlighting the incredible talent that's already there.
And not just highlighting it, but supporting it, investing in it.
That's a good point. It's like they're not just investing in individuals, they're investing in the future of research on the whole continent.
And a stronger research ecosystem in Africa benefits everyone.
Yeah, so it's not just about, helping Africa catch up. It's about unleashing this potential that could, really change the world.
Exactly. It's about bringing new perspectives and new solutions to the table.
I'm thinking back to Prosper's work.
Yeah.
With the telementoring for surgery.
Yeah.
Like, imagine the impact that could have, not just in Africa, but globally.
It's a solution that could be applied in so many different contexts, right?
Totally. And then Joseph's research on LLMs for refugee education, that could be a model for reaching marginalized communities anywhere.
I agree. It's really powerful.
What I think is so cool about these examples is they're not just theoretical.
Right.
They're rooted in, the real-world needs of people.
And that's what gives them such incredible potential, I think.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about the individual researchers, the broader trends, the global implications.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
it can't be all like sunshine and roses.
Yeah, it's not.
What are some of the challenges that come with, trying to build a sustainable research ecosystem in Africa?
Well, I mean, you need more than just funding, right?
Yeah.
You need infrastructure,
Mm,
access to resources, collaboration between institutions,
right.
and you need to create an environment where these young researchers feel supported and encouraged.
Absolutely. And then there's that whole issue of brain drain, right?
Ah, yeah.
Where talented people leave Africa to pursue opportunities elsewhere.
It's a real concern, but I think that initiatives like the Google PhD Fellowship can actually help to counteract that trend.
How so?
By providing opportunities and resources within Africa, you're creating an incentive for researchers to stay.
Right, to stay and contribute to their own communities.
Exactly. And the more success stories we see coming out of Africa, the more it inspires young people to pursue careers in research. And that just strengthens the ecosystem even further.
Yeah, so it's like this positive feedback loop, almost.
Precisely. It's a self-reinforcing cycle that could really shift the global research landscape.
It makes you realize that supporting research and innovation isn't just some, abstract thing.
Yeah,
It's an investment in our collective future.
absolutely. It's about empowering people to solve problems, to create change, and to build a better world for everyone.
I'm feeling really inspired after this deep dive.
Me too.
But before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
We've seen the incredible potential of these researchers, but what other innovative applications of technology might we be overlooking?
That's a great question to ponder. What solutions are out there just waiting to be discovered, especially when it comes to addressing the unique challenges facing the African continent, you know?
I mean, what if we really challenged ourselves to think outside the box?
Yeah.
Look beyond the traditional approaches
Yeah.
and really tap into all that creativity and ingenuity
Yeah.
that clearly exists in Africa.
That's what I find so exciting about this whole topic. It's
Yeah.
like we're just scratching the surface.
Right.
There's so much potential there.
It's like we've been given this glimpse into the future.
Mm.
And it's a future where technology is being used to create entirely new solutions.
Not just to replicate what we're already doing.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like using technology to solve problems in
Yeah.
ways we haven't even thought of yet.
And those solutions, they won't just benefit Africa.
Right.
They'll have ripple effects all over the world.
It's like, the challenges we face are interconnected, but the solutions are too.
Exactly. It's a global ecosystem.
And it makes you realize that supporting research and innovation isn't just some, feel-good thing.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's an investment in our collective future
It's about empowering people to solve problems, to create change.
to make the world a better place.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
Well, I don't know about you, but I am feeling incredibly inspired after this deep dive.
Me too. It's been really eye-opening.
It really has. And,
Uh-huh.
who knows? Maybe someone listening to this conversation right now will be inspired to come up with the next groundbreaking solution.
It's possible.
The possibilities really are endless.
They are. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep believing in the power of human ingenuity to make a difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, everyone.
It's been a pleasure.
And until next time, keep those brains buzzing.